Welcome students, welcome everyone. In this session, I am going to teach you about the problems based on the unit motion in a straight line. So I revised the session previously that we discussed, and this unit deals with the concept of motion in a straight line. The concepts that we learned are pathway, displacement, path length, velocity, linear velocity, uniform acceleration, then what instantaneous velocity, average velocity, and finally relative velocity. So based on all these concepts, we will solve some problems and make our theory very practically understandable. Okay? Only if we go on to the problems, our theories will be determined successfully. Clear? So listen to the problems carefully, and in parallel it's better for you to write the problems and all the hints that I am telling during this session. Okay, I will start with the first problem. The problem number 1. This is a book back exercise problem in your book. So this is the problem is 3.4. Exercise problem number 3.4. I will read the problem. It's very better for you to take the book and see the problem, or else you just listen to it carefully. A drunk car walking in a narrow lane takes 5 steps forward. A drunk car walking in a narrow lane takes 5 steps forward and 3 steps backward. So that is a drunk car. It takes 5 steps forward and 3 steps backward. So this is the way that drunkard moves. Followed again by 5 steps forward and 3 steps backward. So in this process the drunkard is moving. It is going 5 steps forward and coming back 3 steps. Okay. After that again from that place it is moving 5 steps forward and returning to 3 steps backward. This is the way the drunkard moves. Each step is 1 meter long. Length of 1 steps. Length of 1 step is 1 meter. The length of 1 step it takes is 1 meter. And requires 1 second. Time for 1 step is 1 second. So the length of 1 step is 1 meter. Time for 1 step is 1 second. Then determine graphically and otherwise how long the drunk car takes to fall into a pit 30 meters away from the start. So there is an ending point called pit. It is 30 meters away from the starting point. So what they have asked is, how long does it take for the drunk car to reach the 30-meter pit? So the distance to be traveled is 30 meters from the starting point. So distance from starting point to end point is 13 meters. This problem is quite an aptitude problem. It's like an aptitude problem along with the physics. Okay, a easy problem and an interesting problem to solve. So what we have to find is we have to find logic. This is not a direct formula. The formula is not direct. This is logically solved problem. So we have to think this problem in logical manner. So the drum cord I will draw with the diagram. I will show you with the diagram. The starting point is here and this end point is here 13. So distance between these two is 13. Okay, 13 meters. The drum cord should start from here and example 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So much of distance it has to travel. Okay. How it travels is as given in the question. First, on this point it moves from 5 meters it will travel. Then again it will come to 3 meters back. That is, for one moment. What is one moment? That is, it will go to 5 meters forward and come to 3 meters backward. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have gone for 5 meters forward. I am coming back to 3 meters backward. 1, 2, 3. So this is the complete one movement. Okay. So how many steps? Totally 5 forward, 3 backward. Totally 8 steps. Do not consider the direction here. Total number of steps you should consider. Okay. Then the time taken for one step is 1 second. Time taken for one step is 1 second. So how many steps I have taken for one complete movement? Forward 5, backward 3. Totally 8 steps. This is like a path length, not the displacement. Because in displacement you will be considering the sign, negative sign. I am just considering the path length. So 5 steps forward and 3 steps backward. 5 plus 3, that is 8 steps. Okay. So 8 steps, total steps is 1 movement, total steps is 8. So that is 8 meters. So for 1 meter the given data is 1 second. Then for 8 meters total time is 8 seconds. So the total time is 8 seconds. So it will be very convenient for you. You just draw the axis and now give the number like this. Only you can jump into the problem very easily. Sometimes the theory will be very vague when you can't imagine. So graphically you draw the given data if it is very possible. So this is a very easy way of expressing the thing that is being given as a theory. So 13 meters, each and every meter is being displayed as a, because the range is very small, only 0 to 13. So 5 meters forward, up to 5 meters it will go. Then again from 5, it will come to 3 meters back. 1, 2, 3. So this is the movement 1. At first movement, for one movement, how many, what is the displacement from the original point? The final displacement from the original point is, what is the change in position from the original point? 2 meters. For one movement of the drum cord, the displacement is 2 meters only, because it is going forward 5 and reversing to 3 meters. So after this, the total displacement found was only 2 meters. So here 2 meters. So this, what is the time it is taking for this 2 meter displacement? It is calculated as 8 seconds. It is calculated as 8 seconds. Then how long will it take for this bullock cart to reach the 13 meters? How long will it take for this drum cart, not bullock, sorry, the drum cart to reach the 13 meters? Some other logic in mathematics is, you can write this 5 minus 3 is 2. I will solve with a small simple algebraic expression. 5 minus 3 is 2. Clear? Because you cannot go on determining the seconds continuously. Or another way is, you just from this point to another one moment. How many movements you have to calculate? First, how many movements? Number of movements is will give the number of seconds. Okay, that number of seconds is the final answer. Okay, so you need the number of movements till the destination point. Thus, all the movements are completely over. That is all the next thing you have to consider. Thus, all the movements are completed for the entire destination. It means to get into position 2, for coming into point 2, I am completing one movement. Again, if I take another movement, that means one movement means what? 5 meters forward, 3 meters backward. From 2, I am taking another movement means where will go? I will go 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I will come to backward 3 points. From 7 to 3, 1, 2, 3. That is at 4 I will come. At 4, this is the second movement. Then from 4, another movement I will take. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I haven't reached to 13. Only up to 9 I have reached. So this is, and again from 9 I am coming back. 8, 7, 6. So you find this is the third movement. You find only the rate of increase is twice, 2 digits. Okay, in even numbers it is increasing. Obviously the next will be 2, 4, 6. During the fourth moment you will go to 8. During the fourth moment you will reach the point 8. Okay, this is the fourth moment. So for one moment you are displaced by 2 meters. Then for 4 moments you are displaced by 8 meters. Clear? Then now coming to the next point is, this is a very important concept here. From 8, if you start at for next moment, what happens? You have to go, you will reach the 10. But you will not reach 10 and there is no need of reaching 10. Because our destination point is 13. The destination point is 13 meters. So from 8, only forward movement is necessary. There is no need of coming to backward. Only forward movement is necessary. There is no need of coming into backward. So from 8, from the point 8, if I go forward, from the point 8, if I go forward, how many steps is a forward step? 5 steps. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we have attained the destination. That is 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay. The destination is reaching. So there is no need of returning to the 10. Okay. Reverse direction is no need because I have reached the destination point. So how many completed movements? 4 complete movements with another movement only in forward direction. 4 complete movements with one movement in forward direction alone. So the number of movements is, I'll give a few seconds to just listen everything. Just copy this. Make a line like this. Make it graphically. Mark the points like this. An interesting problem it is. So one movement, total steps 8 meters, total time 8 seconds. So that is 5 minus 3 is 2, and you will question into 2. Then from 2, another one movement if you take, go for means, you will get into 4. From 4 to 6, 6 to 8. Then after 8, there is no need for you to complete one movement. No, not necessary for one complete movement. Okay. So only forward is necessary. After getting into 5, the destination 13 is reached. Now we have to calculate the time for the whole event. So I will show you how to calculate this time. How the time is calculated for this movements. Okay. So one movement, as I have written, 8 seconds for one movement. 8 seconds. Okay. How many completed movements? 4 complete movements are gone. 4 movements are for 4 movements. 4 into 8. So 32 seconds. Totally 32 seconds. Then after 4 movements, I am at the place 8 meters. Then from that place I am going 5 steps forward. In the next movement I am going for forward steps. 5 steps forward. So for each and every step the time taken is 1 second. So for 5 steps 5 seconds. That's all. After 5 seconds I have reached the destination, and that's all about the problem. So fifth movement, only forward direction is considered. So that is 5 steps is considered. So 5 into 1, because for 5 steps means for each step only 1 second is given. So 5 into 1 is 5 seconds. So the total time is 32 plus 5. 32 plus 5. So total time is 32 seconds plus 5 seconds. That will give 37 seconds. So this is one way of solving this problem, a graphical problem with some simple logic. Note down, students, the way you write the steps, the way you represent the answers is very important to get the marks. Though if there is any problem in your calculations of integers, your way of representing the problem will speak much in physics. In general, in all the subjects. Okay. Though if there is any error or any mistake in your final integer calculation, the way of representing, the way you proceeded the steps will speak much. That will give you the marks. Okay. So you just write the steps very clearly and neatly. Okay, I will give you the next way of doing this problem. A simple way is, I told you 5 minus 3 is 2. This is a logical way. just think in mind or keep in mind, because it will be very useful for you for emergency cases. 5 minus 3 is 2. So this is the logic that I took from the theory given in the problem. So 5x minus 3x equal to 2x. That is, x is a variable because this represents the moment. Okay, this represents the moment. How many movements, x movements are there? I don't know the number of movements I should go. I don't know the number of movements I should go. Okay, that is the thing that I want to find first. So I consider the x as the number of movements. X represents number of movements. Okay. Initially I know if x is 1, 5 into 1 minus 3 into 1 equal to 2 into 1. The statement is obviously correct. That is 5 into 1 is 5 minus 3 is 2. This is correct. Okay. Let's try for some numbers more than 2 or 3. There is no need of going into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 because you yourself can come to know if you give at the next state of number, there will not be so much of change in the result. Okay, you cannot reach to the final answer and you yourself can understand or realize what number if we give will take our answer to the final step. Okay, so the range of digits that you substitute in the value of x can easily understood by you if you have similar practice in the problems. Okay, so I am giving here for x I am giving 3. For x I am giving 3. We just take it out. That is 5 into 3 minus 3 into 3 minus equal to what? What is the value? 5 into 3 is 3 5s are 15. 3 3s are 9. 5 minus 15 minus 9 is 6. So compare this. If I put 3 here, what is this is the position. Okay, these two are positions. Now if I put x equal to 3, what is my position? 2 3s are 6. Okay, so instead of going for so much of analysis, this is a very logical analysis. I am teaching you both because someone may prefer logical way, someone may prefer graphical way. Okay, that is analytical way. So based upon the marks that you are asked, you may prefer either of the method. Okay, if you are asked for 2 marks, you can go for this. Okay, if the answer is asked to go for elaborately, you are asked to elaborate the answer so much with the graph and the numerical data and steps so on, you can prefer this method. And this is just a minute of method. Even it may be asked in a 1 mark problem also. Okay, then so if I substitute x equal to 3, the question is 6. And you have now come to know that, oh, if x is 3, I got to the 6th question. That means the 6th is quite half of the 13th. It's quite half of the 13th. I may substitute x equal to 4. What I will get? If x equal to 4, that is x equal to 3. When x equal to 4, 5 times 4 minus 3 times 4 is what? 20 minus 12, which is 8. So you check this 4 with here. So that is, what is the position when x equal to 4? 2 times 4 is 8. That is 2 into 4. Instead of x you put 4. What is the position you are there? You are in 8th position. Oh, now your drum card came to the meters, 8 meters. That is the position you are. Right. Obviously, if you substitute 5 means, what happens? Your drum card will be in 10th position. Okay. If you substitute 5, then there comes the logic you have to think. You have already attained 8th question. If you substitute x equal to 4. Clear? Then next you go to the problem and read. The next way how the drunkard moves, it will move to the 5 steps forward. Okay. From 8, if it starts moving 5 steps forward, it will reach the destination 13. So from 8, if it moves 5 steps forward, it will reach the destination 13, and that's all. So number of complete movement is 4. So we can limit the value of x to 4 alone. So number of complete movement is 4. So 4 complete movements and plus 1 complete forward movement. That's all about the logic behind this. So the two way we can solve this. This is complete algebraic method. This is graphical plus analytical method. Do remember the algebraic way of doing the problems once. Revise some basic algebra equations like a plus b whole square, a square plus b square formulas, and a plus b into a minus b for simple calculation in physics. Do not rely on all the division multiplication always. Okay, we can very easily resolve the physics using very simple mathematics. Always keep in touch with the mathematics, and then mathematics is a very backbone of your physics. Mathematics is a very backbone of your physics. Only if you are very capable in solving the maths, your physics will get a result. So students, please keep on solving the problem, and sometimes you keep the time constraint. Don't take so much of an heart to solve a problem. If you have doubts, just restrict it and jump into another problem. Then you will solve the problem. Okay. Some problems you try to find a smart way of doing. Try to find a smart way of doing a problem. I think this second part is a smart way I did. And probably it took a 20 minutes for me to think this way. First I tried this way, and on my own I thought the second way. Oh, there may be some easy method. If I just reading the problem, I can jump into that. Okay, that's the second logical way. Then I will go into the next question. This 3.16. This question is based on studying the graph. So I will draw the graphs that is given in the problem. What I have given is, look at the graphs given carefully. Which of these cannot possibly represent one-dimensional motion of a particle? So they have given the graph. You first listen to the graph and draw the graph along with me. The second problem is, first graph is this is x, this is time and distance. Next one is velocity and time, and next one is the speed, and the fourth graph is path length. Okay students, so these are all the four graphs that are drawn. The question that is asked is, check whether which of the graph represent one-dimensional motion of a particle. Which of the graph represents one-dimensional motion of an object. So you know the one-dimensional motion means the motion in any one direction. The motion in any one direction. The change in direction, the change in displacement. Okay. the change in displacement with respect to time in one direction. That is the one-dimensional motion. So now you look into the graph. Let us take the first graph. For each and every point of the time, there is a value for vertical axis. So in all the graph we have the horizontal axis as time and vertical axis as different variables. So here x is the distance, v is the velocity, then speed. Here we have a path length. So on analyzing the first one, I am telling for this first graph, for each and every time I am drawing a straight line. I consider one particle, let this chalk be a particle. I am drawing it. Okay. For 1 second it would have been in here. After a second, for each and every second the chalk piece will be moving from this point to, if I am just throwing from this point to that point, for each and every second it will be moving from here to here. Okay, from one point to another point. Let this be the first point, let this be the end point. When I give here, throw the chalk piece from here to here, it will move from here to here. So for also the time, if I start running the time, for each and every second the position of the object will change. This particle will change. The distance will also be changing. Let this be 1 meters. So what's 10 centimeter, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, up to 100 centimeters totally. So for each and every second the centimeter changes. The displacement of this particle changes. That is the thing. But in this graph, what I have given is, for same time the particle seems to be in, you just project the curve to the distance. You project the curve to the distance axis. For you take this time t, and for this one time you have two distance values in this curve, 1 and 2. So it is very impossible to get the particle to be in two distances at the same point. I will be at only one point at one time. I cannot be at 2 points, 2 places. Okay. During 9 a.m. I am at school, and during 9:30 a.m. I am at classroom. I cannot be in the same time. No, it is not so. A good example is when by 9 a.m. if I am at home, 9:30 a.m. I am at school. Okay, and I cannot write my table as 9 a.m. school and home. That is wrong. So let my house be the reference point. Let it be a 0. School is at 7 kilometers. So at time t equal to 0, I am at home. The distance is also 0. After 1 hour only I am starting. After 1 hour, okay, my displacement starts increasing. I am keep on moving from one point to another point. For each and every time, my position varies. The distance traveled by me varies. Let I be the particle. Okay. Here, but this curve abruptly shows for one time, each and every time, the value of the distance is different, and this is not graphically and practically possible. You come to the next curve. The same concept here is the velocity of the particle. The velocity of the particle here is, the particle does not have two different velocities at the same time. Okay, it is decreasing, negatively decreasing. Okay, at the same time, it is in the positive axis, it is in the increasing velocity, it is in the decreasing velocity. Okay, at the same time, it is having two value of velocities. That is also impossible for the particle. And we come into the speed. The speed is a what? A speed is a scalar quantity. Then it does not have any direction, I told you. So the magnitude, it does not have any negative values. Clear? It does not have any negative values. So this wave is not a proper value for the graph of the speed. The speed should be written as a magnitude in positive axis. Then the path length. The same thing that is applicable here is the path length is also what? It is positive. Then another thing that you see the graph here, up to this point, here this be T1 and T2. From 0 to T1, the path length is increasing, and from T1 to T2, the path length is decreasing. In previously we have learned that the path length is only the magnitude that is keep on added. Path length is the magnitude of the displacement that we keep on adding during our entire way of travel. Okay? Path length is the magnitude of the displacement that we keep on adding during the entire way of travel. So the path length will not decrease, even though if it go forward and come backward. That is the displacement. But we consider the total path length is that it should be added. So I am going from here to here, 5 meters. This is x direction. And again from here to here, point O, A, B. 5 meters to 3 meters. So total path length is 5 plus 3, 8 meters. So 5 plus 3 is 8 meters. And again if I coming from B to A. So for this I am taking T1. And during T2 the time travel is alright. The time travel is T1. For T1 I am traveling 8 meters. Okay. Then for next I am traveling T2 I am traveling 3 meters in reverse direction. During the for T2 seconds if I am traveling 3 meters in reverse direction. What is the total path length? What is the total path length is? It is not 5 plus 3 minus 3. Initially we write as 5 plus 3 is first path length. And after traveling from B to A, this is OA plus AB. Now if I travel from B to A, I should not put minus here. Okay. This minus should be considered only for the displacement. And for writing the path length travel, you should put plus. Okay. So for B to A, it is only plus 3, not the minus 3. So the value of the path length will not decrease. It will keep on increasing. The total path length is 5 plus 3 plus 3, 8, 11. That is 11 meters is the path length. So this graph is not applicable for the path length of a particle traveling in one dimension. So all the 4 graphs are impossible for the graph of a particle traveling in a one-dimensional direction. This given graphs, okay, this 4 graphs does not represent the distance, velocity, speed, and path length of the particle given. So, with reference to the previous concepts learned, this graph should be analyzed. Next one, students, a relative velocity problem. A jet plane traveling at a speed of 500 meters per hour. What is the given as? Jet plane speed 500 kilometers per hour. Ejects its products of combustion at a speed of 1500 kilometers per hour. The combustion product coming out from the jet plane is 1500 kilometers per second. The speed of combustion product 1500 kilometers per hour. That is relative velocity. It is given as relative speed. This combustion product is coming away from the jet plane. So this speed is given as a relative speed. What they are asking is, what is the speed of the combustion product with respect to observer on the ground? So if a jet plane is flying and you are watching that jet plane, the combustion flame will be coming out from the jet plane with the speed of 1500 kilometers per second. Okay, that is related to jet plane. You are watching a jet plane, it is ejecting a combustion flame and moving forward. Two speeds are given. The speed of the jet plane is 500 kilometers per hour and the speed of the combustion flame with respect to jet plane is 1500. And as per us, then if you are watching the jet plane, what is the speed of this combustion product with respect to you or the person who is watching the jet plane in the ground? So if you are watching the jet plane, what is the speed of this combustion product? That is the thing of observe. So now we have to, this is Vs, that is the speed of the Vj, let this be a Vj jet plane, and this is the V combustion plane Vcj, and we have to find the Vc is the Vcp minus Vp. So actually the combustion rate, because the combustion is itself in the jet plane, so Vcp is Vc plus Vp. Since the combustion and jet plane are on the same plane, okay, so that we have to add the relative velocity of the combustion and jet plane should be added. So from that I am extracting this value, velocity of the combustion Vc, that is Vcp 1500 minus 500. So what is Vc? That is 500 kilometers per hour. So the relative velocity of the combustion product is Vc plus Vp, and from that I am finding the given values of Vcp and Vp. So I am finding Vc, the velocity of the combustion product. It's not Vcj. There's small change in the, we just change the values of the alphabets, Vp and this is Vcp, okay, not Vj. Okay students, try the additional exercises and make a note of the doubts you have. Okay, always keep on practicing the problems with your theories, and if you have any doubts, kindly make a note of it. Don't ever forget to make a note of the doubts you have. Whenever you feel doubts while reading or solving problems, you just write it out on the problem itself in any corners. Whenever you study, it will be very useful. Okay students, thanks for listening, and we will meet you in the next session.